This month we're going to focus on grounding, which is one of my favorite themes because it is very broad. We're going to do quite a range of poses, but focusing always on this idea of connecting our body to the earth or to the ground. And in doing that, we'll think about and hopefully feel a sort of sense of lightening in response. So as we press down, as we root down, the rest of us can kind of rise back up. I want to show you, I'd say, a 5-minute sequence. I'm notoriously really bad at cutting myself off after 5 minutes, but I'm going to do my best to just show you a quick little flow that you can do at home that can elicit some of this sort of grounded feeling and an accompanied sort of lightness that goes along with it. So we'll start in horse stance or goddess stance. I should call it goddess stance because goddesses are cooler than horses. Whatever you want to call it. Come to this. And take your hands to your thighs, kind of press down into your thighs. Depending on the length of your arms, you might be able to fully straighten them, which feels kind of nice because it kind of props up your weight so your quads don't have to work as hard. And then just kind of sway a little bit side to side. So you're just getting your hips a little closer to the ground, keeping your feet relatively flat. Your inner arches are lifted, but your toes are lightly gripping. And just feeling that sort of downward force. Paired with a little bit of lightening as you press your hands down and out. And then from here you can straighten your legs. Toes can face the long edge of your mat as you fold forward. And just walk your hands as far forward as you can while keeping your hips reaching up and back. So almost like a down dog sort of feel, but pretty light on your fingertips. Your hands can also be on blocks here if that feels more stable. And then starting to move side to side, kind of at your own pace. Hands and feet pretty strongly connected to the ground, even if it's just fingertips. And as you move side to side, letting your hips kind of sink maybe deeper and deeper, bending your knees a little bit further each time you go. And noticing not just your lower body, but also your upper body. So as I move towards my right, I might reach my left arm a little bit more forward, stretching the left side of my body. As I move to the right, same thing, right arm, or move to the left, my right arm might move forward. And then ultimately I'm going to kind of settle myself in the middle. My hands can be flat on the ground if that is accessible, or they can be on blocks. Or if you have the mobility, you can drop your head either all the way down to a blanket or a block to get some connection between your head and the ground. And then sometimes I like to kind of rock a little bit forward and back, letting my weight shift in my feet and in my head. Careful not to rock so far forward that it becomes a disaster. Just a little bit of movement. And then pushing your head off the ground if it's lowered. You can wiggle your feet a little bit closer in, coming to malasana, one of my favorite poses. And you can start with your hands at your heart, pressing your inner thighs away. If it feels more stable to sit on a block and ground your hips, you can sit on a block. And again, just kind of letting that downward force of gravity come into your feet, into your hips, and then allowing your chest to be a little bit light. And if you're not on a block, or if your arms are long enough, you could take your hands to the ground and just kind of tuck your chin towards your chest, making a more introverted malasana. And connecting not just with your feet, but also with your fingertips. And kind of drawing some of that downward energy back up into your chest and your head, even though you're turning in, there's still kind of a light quality to the shape. And then from here, coming to a forward fold as you lift your hips. Toe heel your feet a little bit closer together. And again, hands can be on blocks, or you could take palms to the ground. And then sliding your hands underneath your feet. Knees can be as bent as they need to be for this. Maybe my second favorite pose in the world is Padahastasana, or gorilla pose. So letting your hand-foot connection kind of close that loop in the body, letting your feet massage your hands, and letting your wrists and your arms and your shoulders relax. Head can hang and shake a little bit side to side. Breath moves up into the back body. And then untucking your hands from your feet. We'll come either back down to malasana, a couple breaths, or just to vajrasana seat. So whatever feels most comfortable, take a few breaths there. And then if you've got the time, maybe you take a little shavasana time, or continue to sit in seated meditation. I'll end the video here in interest of being not 25 minutes long, but feel free to take your time and relax and just connect with what is beneath.